Okay. So there we go. Short introduction and showing you my experimentation so far with this note-taking method that I've seen, Notebook LM from Google. Now, number of different note-taking methods that I talked about at the beginning of all my classes, the Cornell method, etc. Different software things, TiddlyWiki. Let's see, let's get on there. TiddlyWiki, etc. This is very interesting, which is why I'm moved to make this particular recording here. So let's go take a look at it. So notebooklm.google.com, there's the opportunity to make a new notebook. There's these exemplary things already here. Here is the test that I've been creating and putting some stuff in it and trying that out, and I'll show you that in a second. But new notebook would create a new notebook. You're going to add stuff in there. Let's see, we'll get back to the beginning. Introduction, information about it. A lot of cool stuff you can do with this. Adding stuff in here. It is a little bit limited right now in the different kinds of file types that you can grab in here. But given, especially for my classes, I was very curious to see how it would work for some of the things that we're doing. So here's what I created, and I put some stuff in here. Does this open? This doesn't move. So I don't think make this big enough so you can actually see all the names of the stuff that I put in here. No, it doesn't. Okay, maybe that'll be an interesting feature. So one of the things that I did, I put a bunch of the PowerPoints in here. And then I also put a bunch of PDFs of various kinds, like glossaries from various things that I've in the past created some questions for. And then some of the kinds of PDFs from sources like National Institute of Standards and Testing and the NSA to try that out. So, but let's take a look. We actually talked about this a little bit on, are there any more? Yeah, that's it. Up on Piazza, like, in each of the PowerPoints is everything we talked about, the things you need to do, etc. So what about if I just drag the PowerPoints in here and if I only had the PowerPoints in here, say I had a notebook that was just my PowerPoints, then I could get immediately a summary. I could look at the key topics, and under the key topics, there'd be information for me. I could ask questions and create a note based on the questions. For instance, let me ask a question here. Like, from these PowerPoints, create an organized, chronologically based list on the information of all the tasks that are ongoing or overlapping and due dates. And the information from the questions, the responses, can then be converted into a note to save. I could save this response. Here was the response. So of the 5 that I put in here, here are all the tasks in order that were contained inside those PowerPoints. That was actually one of the questions that was brought up in Piazza. And normally in a higher education class, you would be responsible for taking those notes individually yourself and each week concatenating them. Well, if you didn't catch up or you're running behind or something like that, well, how about that? Well, and then with regard to the NIST, Risk Management Guide, what are the key topics in this Risk Management Guide PDF, which the 75 class will be reading very soon, because this is a canonical document, the kind that we go to see what are the updates? What are the latest requirements? What are the latest guides for us in terms of cybersecurity? If I want to look at, say, for instance, the NSA 60-minute security guide, and I want to see what was the information that was there with regard to intrusion detection, network security, operating system security. So there's a lot of options in here, and of course we could ask any question here. Let's see, let me uncheck these and check only the 60-minute guide, and then from the sources I have checked, let me ask a question. What are the top 10 things to do to secure Windows system? And so using this as a resource, then we can come up with an answer. And if given that resource, it's not sufficient or there's something wrong with my prompt, it'll tell me and I can work that over again. So here is, from that information, top 10 things to do. And so this is a response, and I want to save this to a note. There we go. I've got this saved to a note now. Pretty cool. So there's a lot of features in here and a lot to explore, but just some basic ones, say taking this security incident questionnaire cheat sheet, or this security incident survey cheat sheet, or this security assessment cheat sheet, or this security assessment report. Well, okay. It abstracts some questions from that automatically. If I've got, let's say, for instance, here's the NIST, CompTIA, Security Plus Glossary. So there's, or this, here's the CyberOps glossary. Here's a lecture. What was that all about? What were the main topics in that particular lecture? What about this lecture here? What were the primary topics in this? And what was the summary of what was said in that, in that long lecture? This is pretty cool, and of course free. So what's the bottom line? Well, bottom line is that's pretty cool and free. And you could, for instance, have a notebook where you just keep the PowerPoints, and then it'd be easy to have some questions associated with that. Select all the sources. You could have one where you just have all the PDFs that are looked at. You could have, you know, whatever way you want to organize it. So there you go. You know, enjoy. Have a good time. I think this is a very useful thing, and I expect to be using it myself.